Happy New Year, everybody. I know that I didn't make a video last week. It was Christmas time and it was crazy and I completely forgot. It completely slipped my mind. But now the holidays are over. Anyways, Happy New Year. 2015 was crazy. I don't think I've really ever talked about it on here, but me and Roy aren't together anymore. We're in the middle of a divorce. We have been for the past like 9 or 10 months, so that's made it kind of a insane, tough year. But yeah, so yeah. But tough times, they don't always mean bad things. Like, I always think of tough times as you learn something, you learn from it. I would say that this was definitely a character development year for me. And through everything that I went through, I learned a lot about myself and I became who I wanted to be, like strong and independent, and doesn't feel like I have to explain myself to people. Just let me be happy. Like, if it feels right and I'm not hurting anyone else, just do what makes me happy and stop over explaining myself to everybody. And you know what I mean? Like, I've spent my whole life explaining and explaining and explaining, but that's not a fun way to live. Just do what you want, what makes you happy. If it's not hurting anyone else, just do it, and don't feel like you have to explain everything away all the time. That's probably my biggest New Year's resolution. But even though it was a tough year, a lot of great stuff happened. Like, I met my best friend in the whole world, Joseph. That was a highlight of the year, and he helped me get through this year a lot. Like, a lot, like a lot. I went on a really fun vacation in the beginning of the year with some of my friends to Monterey, and that was a lot of fun. That was definitely a highlight of the year, even though it happened in the beginning. I got into Fresno Pacific University because of, life's craziness. School's taking me longer than I want it to, but, as long as you're trying, that's all that matters. Life gets in the way, it happens. So I'm starting university for the spring semester. My move-in day is January 9th. It's kind of crazy. I've been buying stuff for my dorm, and I just started packing a couple days ago. I'm not bringing that much stuff, so it shouldn't take that long. But yeah, I got into Fresno Pacific, which is really cool. I'm going to be a history major. I was originally going to be a communications major with performance emphasis, but they told me that after the people that are currently in that program graduate, they're getting rid of it, so I couldn't do that anymore. And it was almost like a blessing, because it was like a wake-up call to me that I don't want to study. I don't want theater to be my main major. I love it. I've always loved it, but it took me a long time to realize that I don't want it to be my job. Because I think that if it was my job and I constantly had to act all the time to make money, I wouldn't like it anymore. It's something that I want to do when I have the time and when I feel like it. Like, I don't want to be forced to take horrible acting jobs and go to 5 million auditions just to make money. Like, I want it to be something I do for fun and not to make money. So I'm a history major, and I want to be a history teacher. I'll probably be an elementary school teacher for a couple years just to get used to teaching in general. And then I want to teach high school history, and then hopefully someday I want to get my master's and be a professor, and then maybe also kind of be like Lara Croft and be an archaeologist and make really great historical discoveries and all that. I would love that. I love history. I've always loved history. Funny enough, it took this crazy year and me not getting the major I originally wanted to wake me up and realize what I really wanted. And I love history so much. I've always loved it. It fascinates me, especially ancient history, which I did my video on ancient Rome, so you know that. But it's been a crazy year where I really, really feel like I know who I am now, and I am the person I want to be. I mean, obviously, every day, every month of every year, you change and you become a better person, or maybe not a better person, but a different person, and you change and you grow. And so I'm not done growing. Obviously, you never stop growing, but I've grown a heck of a ton this year, and I really like who I am now, and I have a lot more self-confidence. Like, I take pictures of myself and I look at them and I'm like, oh, I'm so cute. And I never used to do that, and that's a good thing. It's okay to be confident. I mean, there's a difference between being confident and arrogant. It's okay to look at pictures of yourself and think that you're cute. Like, that's a good thing. Confidence is a good thing. I feel really good about myself. I feel like I'm a really strong person, and I realized that the thing I like most about myself is that I always find a solution for something. Like, no matter what, I will find a way to make it happen, make it work. Even if I have to change all my plans, I will find a way to make my life go the way that I want it to or need it to, or I will always find a solution. And that, realizing that has helped my anxiety a lot, knowing that it's fine. Whatever happens, happens. Everything happens for a reason. I will find a way. I will find a solution. And that helps a lot. That's helped me a lot with this crazy year, because some things have gone slower than I wanted them to, but, you know, everything happens when it's supposed to. It's always what I've thought. I think that even more now, and it's helped me a lot. My anxiety, surprisingly, even though this year has been really, really stressful, the most stressful year I've ever had in my entire life, my anxiety's gotten a lot better. I mean, it's always going to be a part of me. I'm always going to have panic attacks. I'm always going to be afraid of a lot of things. I'm always going to have a harder time in social situations. I'm always going to have depression. I'm always going to have days sometimes where I can't get out of bed, or I just don't feel like doing anything at all, or I'm just really sad. Like, that's always going to be a part of who I am. But I've gotten so much better. I found ways to just push through the fear sometimes and get stuff done. Like, I've always admired that about myself, that I get stuff done anyway, but I've even more so now. I push past things, I find a solution, and I do what I have to. I always do. And so, all in all, this has just been a crazy year, but it's been the best year of my whole entire life. Like, really, like the best year of my whole life. The worst and yet the best at the same time. And I know that 2016 is going to be great. This is my character development year, and this next year is when all the major awesome plot points happen after all the character development. Everything will be great, and I'm really, really looking forward to this next year.